Hello, dear, and welcome to yet another edition of the Norra Wilbor's podcast show. With me today are my amiable guests. But first, I'm going to start with Richee. Richee's at my left. Hello, Richee. Say hi to our people.
Hello, people. It's
Hello,
good to be back
Richee.
here. How you doing?
Let me represent it. Hello, Richee. Richee, how you doing?
I'm okay.
I'm looking
I'm
sweet
good.
and fly today. I
Thank
like your
you.
hairstyle.
Thank you.
What do you
Thank
call
you.
this one?
This is just box braids.
Box braid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's so funny how guys are braiding their hairs now. You're a Chelsea fan.
I'm a Man U fan. Like
Yeah, Man U fan, you're
I've
braiding
said
your
this
hair.
countless times.
All right. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be
And on my father left as well, we have the usual Joshtoosporty.
Usual prime suspect in the
Yeah.
building.
Josh and his favorite corner. Yeah. Josh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said that's your corner, right?
Yeah, I've zoned it.
You've
I've
zoned it.
Mm.
Josh, you're doing zoning here.
Of course.
Inside my studio.
Of course.
No problem.
We've been doing zoning since 99.
Right. I like your hairstyle.
Oh, thank you very much.
What do you call this one?
This is a mix of Neymar and Pique, so I call it the Nepi.
A what?
A mixture of Neymar and
Nice
Pique.
one, Joshua. Nice to have you here. Nice
It's
to have you
lovely
here,
to
Richie.
be here,
it's good to be here.
Yes. So, guys, it's another show. Yes, and today we will be talking about football rivalry.
Mm.
We need to understand what football rivalry is. And I will be starting with Richie. Richie, let's hear from you. What do you think football rivalry is?
Well, football rivalry,
Yeah.
simply put, is the rivalry between football fans,
Mhm.
football clubs,
Mm-hmm.
club owners, football cities. So
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and
Cut
on.
across, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to you. Joshtoosporty.
Well, football, sports, in fact, everything in life that
Yeah.
you do, there would be, especially in a competitive space like sports, there would be time where you face a strong rival lots of times, more than once, more than twice, in a series of years. So yeah, like Richie said, it's rivalries, it's the competitions, it's the intense battle
Of course.
between two or more individuals, football teams, football nations, football cultures, football philosophy.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all what football rivalries are about.
Well, in my opinion, I just call it beef. It's a beef, an unending beef.
Yeah, unending.
Yeah.
Unending beef.
It just goes on and
It
on.
goes on and on and on and on. Okay, but I want to understand like what's the actual importance of football rivalry. Like, why is it there? Like, why is there a need to be? Why do we have to have rivals in football? I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Competition.
Okay.
Competition, and I could probably say pride, because I beat you the first time. I want to beat you again.
Okay.
And you also want to win that trophy, and I'm
Yeah.
the only one that you've beaten everybody, but not only me, they beat you. So you want to beat me back. I want to
Right.
retain my spot as the number one
Okay.
top dog in the division, or in
Okay.
the national team, or in the confederation, or in the country. So yes, it's the spirit of competitiveness,
Okay.
and you could probably say sporting pride, sporting ego, always wanting to be the number one,
Yeah.
which is still boils down to competition and competitiveness as well.
Mm-hmm.
You could even, let me give an example of a rivalry that is like that. Nigeria-Argentina. Every World Cup, they always beat us. Anytime that we see Argentina, we're like, oh God, not again.
Yeah.
And then we want to go out there and make sure we win, because
Yeah.
every time these guys always hand us the loss. 2018, St. Petersburg at Krestovsky. It was a very painful one for us, because that was an Argentina that we could have won. So it's football rivalries happen because there's need for competition, because those two or more organizations, players who exist, and you have to be the best. Football, sports in general, is something that thrives. with
No, it
always
just hit me
being
now when you
the
said
best.
Nigeria, Argentina. It just occurred to me that Nigerians were mainly happy when Saudi Arabia beat Argentina in the World Cup. If you remember,
Fair enough.
yeah, the opening game.
Of Argentina.
Yes.
And
Qatar
then-
2022.
No, I think in a case when an Argentina, for instance, is not facing a Nigeria,
Yeah, Nigeria tend to
it
support.
it switches between pro Messi fans and anti Messi fans, which
Yeah.
leads to another rivalry as
Yeah.
well.
We'll come to Messi.
So sometimes
Yeah.
rivalries could be national team wise, could be club wise, could be individual wise. You could love a player so much. When I remember in 2014, yes, Nigeria Argentina, when Messi scored, some set of people celebrated in Nigeria. Oh, our guy has scored. So rivalries are the main crux of football. They are the main of sports generally. They are the main livelihood of sports.
Do you think rivalry is important? Like, what's the importance of it?
I mean, without rivalry,
Yeah.
the sports might just be boring.
Yes.
To be honest.
Okay.
So, rivalry just it's like that extra fuel.
Okay.
You add to a competition.
Okay.
Or someone trying to prove they are the best. So if you know that you want to be number one, and there's this guy, or there's this club that is always oppressing you. I don't think you would always want to let it slide.
No,
you get
no.
it just creates this atmosphere of you know what, I'm going to come on top.
Intensity.
I'm going to defeat you. It just adds that extra intensity to it.
attachment.
So I mean, it's if you ask me, rivalry is actually important. So.
All right. Let's talk about the biggest rivals we have in the world. They are uncountable, but I'm going to list like a few that are so glaring when it comes to players' rivalry. I'm talking about no other than. You want to help me out, Richie?
Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi.
I think in the game of football, soccer, like the Yanks call it, it's perhaps the biggest individual rivalry. Because if you want to say Maradona and Pele, they did not play in the same era, they did not really face themselves. Di Stefano played in Pele's era, but he didn't really play against Pele. They were like Stefano came a bit before him, or roughly around the same time, but Pele did not play in Europe because in the 70s, 60s, early 70s, the Brasileiro was the best league in the world. So he felt like, I don't want to leave Brazil. From there, he went to USA to make money and retired. So it was the World Cup, the national team stage, that was the biggest display of rivalry. So there was no two individuals. Then it was teams, and I think those teams are still rivalries till now, or still rivals till now. But then if it's one individual versus one individual, the only two individuals that seemed like they were kind of close, or they were kind of competing with each other, as great as Cristiano Ronaldo were, let's say in a similar level, but perhaps maybe Ronaldo and Zidane for France and Brazil, but then they now became teammates at Real Madrid, so it spoiled everything. Even when Zizou was at was at Juventus, De Lima was at Inter Milan, they were competing then, but it has never been this polarizing, there's never been this top of the bill, there's never been this number one on the chart rivalry that Ronaldo-Messi rivalry had, and I don't think there would be any rivalry between individuals in football as all-encompassing as it, because it not just only affected the two of them as individuals, it affected their teams. Their teams became rivals with each other, both whether they are playing in the same league or not. Their fans became rivalries. It became, you could probably say, a stanship. Ronaldo and Messi fans perhaps became stans of these two and all that they touch. So if Ronaldo goes here, that place he's gone to for his fans is the best. If Messi goes here, that place that Messi is the best for his fans. And kind of the obsessive stanship of Ronaldo and Messi as individuals compared to supporting a team kind of seems toxic. You could probably say that fans of Ronaldo could be overboard toxic. Fans of Messi could also be overboard toxic. It's the pendulum.
Ronaldo has the most toxic fans.
I said both of them have
Ronaldo fan base.
Both of them.
Messi fan base are the most toxic fan base.
Messi fans, both Ronaldo fans are toxic. Messi fans, they could be toxic. Messi fans go to the edge when it's their time in the sun. Ronaldo fans go to the edge when it's their time in the sun. So the pendulum swings, and then tribal, you could probably even call it tribalism. It's like a tribal war between my side is better than yours, regardless of what is
Richie, what do you think about the Messi Ronaldo?
I think the most important thing about the rivalry is it has gone on for so long.
So long.
Like, I mean, over 10 years, or
Yeah.
15 years, if I'm not
More than
mistaken.
15.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it's so interesting that not even one of them at some point fell, you know, or
Yes.
stopped performing, you know,
Yeah.
that
You
well.
kind of seen Ronaldo
No,
fail,
no,
though.
no. I mean,
You kind of seen Ronaldo fail.
no.
though.
I wouldn't say so. I
Where's
mean,
your World Cup trophy?
I wouldn't. No, forget World Cup, man. Forget World Cup. I'm not. I'm
That
not.
is a
I'm not.
Messi
I'm
fan
not.
talking. You
I'm not
can't have a,
standing.
you cannot
I'm
have
not
a
standing.
conversation with a Messi fan and they don't ask you where's your World Cup trophy. That is the most
No.
dumbest thing.
That's their latest achievement, so they can
Yeah.
brag about it. You
Okay.
know. So, but like I said,
But you know, when Ronaldo won the Euros in 2016,
Mhm.
that was what Ronaldo fans were saying.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean-
we have
I
the
mean-
national team trophy.
I mean, there's always going to be bias. You know, people would want to use their latest bragging rights to brag. You get, so it's normal.
score
You know,
cheap
exactly. But I mean, like I was saying, their rivalry has gone on for so long. Even if let's say even if they were not like playing in in big performing clubs at some point,
Yeah.
they were still relevant. I mean, for that to even
Correct.
happen, you know,
They're
it-
still
it-
relevant.
Yeah,
because now
yeah,
it's
you
not
know.
a thing of MLS is better than
Exactly.
Saudi
I mean,
Saudi Pro League.
nobody really
Nobody's
cared
talking
about
the
this
European
league.
side again. They're not
Exactly,
moving
you know.
to the
I
Saudi
don't care about the
Arabia.
European side, eh?
That's you. A majority of the people.
Yeah.
Just
So I
sports.
mean, the duration of their rivalry is just what blows my mind.
And you
Yeah.
don't see it fading out, even when they are retired.
That is probably when
I mean,
it might die down.
Yeah, it would
But I
it
don't
will
think
die
I
down,
don't
but
think
I mean, it will
really
it will be
I don't
like
think it
one of the greatest rivalries in history of sports.
No,
You get- I mean-
might even be one of the greatest in history of life.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah. You know.
yes,
So
yes.
Because it transcends sports actually.
Yeah.
You even hear competition of whose cars is better.
Exactly.
Who has finer children or
Exactly.
Ronaldo's
or
children
finer
are more responsible.
wives and girlfriends.
You know,
who has-
I've seen
Who
cases
has
where-
more money,
who has
who has
more-
more followers on social media.
Yes.
Like it
Exactly.
No,
encompasses not just-
there's so many like
football.
people even say Ronaldo's wife does it better.
I'm not Ronaldo. So I wouldn't say it. I would attest to
Messi's
that.
wife is more sexier. Ronaldo's children don't get in trouble. You know, yeah, that's how fans. Have
Yeah, I mean,
Messi's-
people
yeah.
would
Messi's
just
wife is-
try
Messi's wife is
to,
more
you know,
holy.
Yes.
Ronaldo's wife don't spoil. because she knows
Ronaldo
Even if-
doesn't know how to cook.
even if people don't have facts, they will just come up with something and just
Something
shove it on
stupid,
in your
just to
face and
score-
try to tell you this
just
is
to
That's
score
why I said,
you
she
know?
has said
points.
obsessive standship is toxic.
Yeah.
And
Right.
on the extreme side.
Now, should we call
both-
that? Are we calling that rivalry?
It is a rivalry.
Do you call that rivalry?
Yeah,
it is.
Now that boils me down to my next question: how healthy is this kind of rivalry? How healthy is it? I mean, look at someone coming up with the most absurd thing. How can you come up and say Ronaldo's children have more sense than Messi's children?
Because you want
because
to-
you
Yeah.
want to get
You want
at
to- yes, get at
Messi's
Messi.
fan base. How healthy is this, Richie?
I mean, that's the part I don't always understand. You know,
Right.
you see people like even people fight for this
Yes.
thing sometimes, and I'm like,
For people that don't
it's
know
not that serious.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
I've never
like
seen this like
exactly,
Might
like
never,
like
ever come
it's-
I've
across.
seen Messi anyway, so
They don't even know how hard you're
Fuck.
fighting for them, so it's not.
Clap for you.
It's it's not that serious for you to want to
Yeah.
like argue, you know, over two people saying, oh, this one is better than this one. Then you come up with like absurd points sometimes.
Mhm.
You know, some people they cross the line when it comes to, you know,
That-
the
that is
argument
a crossing-
you get,
crossing
and
the line.
that to me doesn't really make any sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I think that's the flaw that we have as human beings, because sometimes I might like chicken a lot and I'll probably just be eating only chicken.
Mhm.
And excess, too much of everything is a bad thing.
Bad,
I think
yeah.
probably, maybe I even read somewhere that if you drink too much water, it's even too bad. It's
Too
bad.
bad.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm afraid I read that this morning.
I thought it was probably only water that I
Yeah.
don't think you could abuse, but
Yeah.
abuse in
Can't even
itself,
abuse
you
it,
can't
yeah.
abuse anything.
Anything.
Too much of everything is bad.
It's very
So
bad.
Too much of fanship, of standship,
Standship.
become toxic.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
there are a lot of them that, like, you was Messi.
In
let's
Formula
say
One, there's so many. There's Hamilton and
Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
There's Hamilton, Max. There's Alonso, Hamilton, Vettel,
Djokovic
Raikkonen,
versus,
Djokovic, Nadal,
Federer,
It
yes.
was originally Federer
Yeah.
and Nadal. Then Djokovic
Yeah.
put himself into it. Then Andy Murray put himself. Okay, British hype. Put Andy Murray in,
Yeah.
but then Andy Murray's knee and injuries affected him. The rivalries everywhere. The Williams sisters had
Yeah.
a nice rival, even though Serena kind of was beating her sister more than her. But they had a pretty decent rivalry, competing in multiple Grand Slam finals, splitting Grand Slams amongst each other. Naomi Osaka and Serena had a mini rivalry. It did not last as long as it would have if Serena was still young and in her prime and didn't get married and pregnant, and Osaka now is giving birth as well. So it's part of the game. Like Richie said, it's what makes sports emotional. You attach to this person. Even supporting a club indirectly is
club.
I know supporting a club indirectly is fanning the flames of rivalry already. You inherit the club's problems. you know, like now, I'm your fan now. Yeah. You and Richie have beef or something. Yeah. Automatically, me and his me as your fan and his fans, we don't get we are not winching each other. Yeah. You now beat him in a match. Yeah. I'll start making mad for his fans. I'll start saying my club Norra is better than Richie.
So I get that whole thing.
Everything.
So do you think these fans and their fanaticism when it comes to rivalry, do you think what they do affect the bodies? Like, for example, let's say, okay, do you think things Ronaldo fans do affect Ronaldo? Likewise, Messi. Like, do they have impact on the player's lifestyle? Things the player chooses to say in public because of his toxic fans. You get? Do you think they kind of like?
They're also nice fans anyway. So.
Yeah, no, we can't rule that far. Yeah. I mean, I for one, I can never go out and start comparing Ronaldo's children to Messi. I don't even know them. Even if I did, I would never do such a thing. You understand? Compare them with their stats on the field. Yeah. Not
let it be healthy.
Yeah, healthy. Don't come throwing shades at their personal
and regardless of the stats, everyone has their personal favorites for whatever reason. So it's like now, for instance, I like Thomas Muller as a footballer. If you bring a Muller and you bring a Neymar, prime Neymar, I will take a Muller because I don't fancy Neymar's over flamboyant game. Neymar is probably more skillful and more talented.
Let's talk about club rivalries. We'll talk about players' rivalries and how it affects this player. Let's talk about club rivalries. The biggest rivalry, club-wise. Richie,
I think it has a name, El Clasico. Yeah. So I mean, for them to even like give it a name, it shows you how big the rivalry is. And we also have the Manchester derby, Manchester United and Manchester City. And I think in some ways we have the Manchester United and Liverpool rivalry.
Manchester Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, and
Manchester Chelsea, I even think it's more of a Nigerian fan rivalry.
The thing about the end of the day, you end up seeing that Manchester have a lot of rivals. Like,
exactly.
Whether in England or in Nigeria, they have too many rivals.
Any club or country or player that is big and has a huge history and has competed with a lot of people will have rivalries. There's Real Madrid, Barcelona, there's Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, there's Real Madrid, Getafe, there's Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. So when you are up there, people want to drag.
I even think you don't even have to be a big club. There are so many small clubs that have rivalry. Like it could, like for instance now, in the UK or in England, you can see a club that came out from like a small village. Having rivalry with another club that came.
Small village.
But when those two teams come together to play, it's like a very big match. And you're wondering like, but these are like small clubs, So it just has to do with, I have to show you that I'm the best. I have to show you, even if these two teams are like at the bottom table. When they want to play
each other,
this person must try to tell you, exactly. So like rivalry is just there, and like I said, it just makes it more intense, more exciting.
And one thing I noticed as well. Okay, there was a time. When Tevez was a United player, this rivalry thing between Man United and Man City, when Tevez left for City, it caused an uproar in the Manchester United fan base.
Judas.
So why would you call him? Why would you call him Judas Iscariot?
Because Judas Iscariot. Okay, no.
Now this is what I'm trying to say. Okay. This rivalry is now cutting
on an individual.
Richie? Is that a healthy rivalry? A player leaves his club, and then joins the neighboring club.
I mean, we don't. First of all, we don't know why he joined the club.
We know. I know why. Anyway, it's Ferguson that cost.
I don't know why he joined the club. He decided to join City. Yeah, but I don't think that should be an issue because, for instance, when Cristiano Ronaldo was coming to Manchester, and we heard that he wanted like Man City were like also offering him like a deal and something. Manchester United fans were saying like if he accepts the deal, that he's a Judas, he's a betrayer, and all that stuff. I mean, in my head, I'm like, it's not that necessary. It's not that deep.
No, it is necessary.
But no, for me, it's not that deep. To be honest, it's not that deep. Okay, but I mean,
let me make a confession. I'm guilty of that.
The
evidence is still there.
It's necessary and it's deep.
It's still there because I went as far as saying, "Look, Ronaldo, you are not the greatest of all time. Messi is the greatest of all time."
Both of them are not my goats to me. King Pele is my goat, even though I did not live in his era. But I think like players, which it boils down to the beauty of the sport, of sports in general. Why would a Lewis Hamilton leave Mercedes and go to Red Bull? Like, you're leaving your constructor and going to another constructor. You're leaving your car and going to another car.
Come to think of it, isn't it normal? Like, there's not actually wrong.
But then that's the fact. There's actually nothing wrong with it because you're looking for what will be good. It's just like you're changing jobs.
Yes.
It's actually just like you're changing jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to a place that you feel is better for you. Financial. I think why I did not, as a United fan, why I did not have beef for Tevez was because it's Fergie, Sir Alex. I respect Sir Alex, what he did at United. I don't fault him for a lot of things, but there are two things that I faulted him for in all the years I've watched. Three maybe, but the Beckham on didn't bite us in the behind as much as I believed he did for a couple of years, but Ronaldo stepped up and made everyone say, okay, thank God safe that Ronaldo came and replaced Beckham. But then the other one was the starting 11 for the final against Barcelona in 2009. Just start your Arsenal team. Then the third one was Tevez. Tevez was so crucial in United winning the league and the double and Champions League double in 2008 that you should have paid. It was a 2-year loan from West Ham. Buy him, sign and seal the dotted lines.
Yes.
You now went. You bought Berbatov in 2008 after the Champions League. Berbatov and Tevez were now fighting for that other second spot with Rooney in the United front two. Of course, as Tevez, I will look for this guy already bought Berbatov, 30-something million. Me, I'm still on loan. Let me look for the one that will give me more money, more playing time. So I do not blame Carlos Tevez for leaving. I think Fergie should have closed that deal before going to get Berbatov. Maybe he was trying to mince money for the owners and for the Glazers and what have you. But I don't know his reasons. But I understood Carlos Tevez' same way I understand Van Persie's reason from leaving Arsenal to United.
Yeah.
He said that he wanted to renew as Wenger was still like chilling on him. Or Arsenal basically, Wenger wanted him to stay. Arsenal were still chilling at probably financial difficulties. And United gave me a good offer. He said, well, I'm going to win trophies. Let me go. He won the Premier League. Same thing with Fabregas. When Fabregas was about leaving Barcelona, he called us now. First option, I want to come back to the Premier League. I'm leaving Barcelona. How far? Do you guys need me? They didn't need him. He went to Chelsea. He won the Premier League there. So it's, yes, Arsenal fans, United fans burnt their jerseys, complain, call them Judases. But it's kind of understandable on an individual, because if I was in those individual shoes, I most likely would have still done the same thing. I would have left my club. Nobody me done wear Juventus shirt already. Like, it's all about the money. I would leave.
You dumped Man United and you picked Juventus.
I would be a
because
Judas.
Of Man United struggle.
I would be a Judas. I would even go to Man City.
What a proud Judas.
And sometimes it's not even about the money. It's how you're being treated where you are.
Yes.
So if you're not being treated right, I think you have every
right
reason
to
or
leave,
right to
every
leave,
reason
go to somewhere better.
Go and help yourself, help your family, help your
Okay, so
generation.
which other club rivalries do you think beats the El Clasico?
For me, I would even say it's even the greatest rivalry.
Yes.
The Buenos Aires derby between River Plate and Boca Juniors in Argentina. The last Copa Libertadores final, that's the Champions League, South American Champions League. The last final that they played, I think was in 2018 or 2019. They had to play the second leg in Spain on a neutral ground because the rivalry is so intense.
It's in deep.
I think what makes the El Clasico number one in most people's opinions is because it's Real Madrid and Barcelona. They are two successful clubs.
Yes.
They are the most successful clubs.
And the
in Europe.
popularity of the
The
league.
popularity of the league, popularity of the clubs, popularity of the players that have played for the club, and how political it has been, because it was embedded from the Franco era, in the Generalissimo era, in the 30s. It's like a civil war thing, like the Catalan nationals against the Castilians. So it's like it's not just
it's a religion.
It's like it's a culture. It's into the fabric of society that the main part of Spain that support the capital and the way that they do, which is Madrid, who support Real Madrid over Barcelona, which are like Catalans that say, okay, we want to succeed from Spain and from our own country. It has a whole lot of political inclinations in here. But core sports on its own, the Buenos Aires derby and the Old Firm derby in Scotland, Rangers against Celtic. Do not mess with those people when that time. The amount of fights, I'm not promoting violence, but the amount of violence, the amount of beef, the amount of heat, the tension. If you might have a bad season as a Boca Juniors coach, but if you win River Plate home and away, you might save your job. Like, it's that important for the populace, for the board, for the fans, for the owners. Same thing with the Old Firm derby, Rangers versus Celtic. It's so rooted. And then we could also talk about the Milan derby, AC Milan, Inter Milan. Two of the biggest clubs in Italy, the biggest clubs in Milan, they now share the same stadium. That when Inter Milan is home, you don't even know. Just that they'll be the one in the home locker room. So it's what makes football sweet. Like,
speaking of the club side, how about national teams? Let's even come down to Africa. Let's talk about national team. Richie.
I would say for national teams, Nigeria and Ghana. I mean those ones they always that beef, you know. But we know who's superior anyway, so I don't think we should really.
Do we know who's superior?
Yeah, I mean Nigeria is superior when it comes to that debate. To be honest,
in male football, then pass also.
Nah, I don't agree.
Ghana passed Nigeria.
I don't agree.
Head to head, they have a better head-to-head record over us.
Over the
Super national team, Super Eagles, the Black Stars. I think 25 or 26. They have a better head-to-head. I think they're probably the only African side has a better head-to-head over the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And women's side, we keep them because I trust our babes. Super Falcons, they are the bosses.
Let's not even go to the Super Falcons because they are the number one.
AFCON as well. AFCON, they won 4 AFCON titles. Even though the last AFCON that they won I was not born, 1982. they won 5 titles. We are still in 3. We are still stuck in 3, unfortunately.
I mean, we'll get
They
there.
have been to the quarter-final of the World Cup. We have stuck in round of 16. So if it's about the national team, the men's national team.
But funny enough,
but me, I don't care. I'll still find my Nigeria boys.
Of course, typical Nigerians. But funny enough, our national team players, don't they do well compared to the Ghanaian team players?
As of right now, yes. We have perhaps the best African footballer in the world. The only African footballer that was nominated for the FIFA The Best Awards. There was no Ghanaian nominated even in any of the awards. So nothing for them. But unfortunately, we met Ghana last time out, World Cup qualifiers. They knocked us out. I blame us in Guavon for that.
Home.
I do blame us in
Guavon
for that. But that is a topic for another day. I'm not going to become sad and depressed anyway because I'm going to Qatar. If not for
the Ghanaians have used that one to shut Nigerians.
It's their time in the sun. Tomorrow we'll still catch them. That's the beauty of rivalries. There's always a way to get.
There's a new World Cup qualifiers coming up.
We are not going to play Ghana. Unfortunately, there's even the Nigeria South Africa. Football rivalry. That one we dominated.
Bayana.
Bafana.
Okay, the women. You don't usually get confused. Bafana and
the women are really giving us problems in the women's side. Like the last 2 times we've played them, they've beaten us the last 2 times. It's always a struggle to play Bayana. We have the rivalry with Cameroon, both on men and women's side of football. There's Egypt, Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia. North African teams all have rivalries with themselves.
Yeah.
Ivory Coast, Senegal have rivalries with each other. Ghana,
Yeah.
West Africa.
The Egypt Tunisia one is actually another big one.
Yes,
In
it is.
Africa.
Yeah.
Like rivalries are what, like Richie said, rivalries are what make football, sports in general,
But as
entertaining
long
and
as
sweet.
it is healthy.
Yeah.
As long as it's healthy.
Because they
yes.
go overboard sometimes.
Argentina,
so.
Brazil.
Yes.
I remember in Russia, Brazilians were supporting us ahead of Argentina's game. They were singing Musa Sikero Messi. That's Musa is better than Messi. They were actually praying for us to beat Argentina. So Argentina will exit in the group stage while we entered the round of 16. Unfortunately, we lost, and the rest
That's
is
how
history.
deep.
That's how
it
deep
was cut.
Argentina-Brazil rivalry is. Same England, Italy, England, Germany, England, France.
Italy,
England,
Spain.
Germany was three World Wars and 1 World Cup. 3 World Wars and 1 World Cup. England. So I mean, it's the fabric of football. Like it what makes football and sports as
Okay, so let me just
what it
throw
is.
a big question now.
Okay.
Football rivalry. Is it good or is it bad?
It is good. It is good. It is needed.
It is
It is
good.
compulsory.
It is good.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah.
Joshua?
It's a bit of both, but I would probably go with 60%. It's good. Or since I'm 60, then I'll probably say it's good because
60,
it's-
right?
It's really needed. It's
Mhm.
yes, there could be negatives. Yes, there could be people who go overboard. There could be drunken fights,
Yeah.
hooliganism, abusing players, attacking the
Yes.
players, racial abuse, going to their DMs, going on their mentions and Instagram
Yes.
and saying all
Yeah.
sorts of.
Yes.
For the core of sports, there's an emotional connection that you have when you're attached to a player or a team or a
Yes.
sport.
Yes.
When you just want your own to be better than there's a way you are keenly watching your own and also watching the other person
Yeah.
as well
Person.
Yeah.
to maybe get stats to use for your bands
Yes.
and also even do bad belly for them
Yeah.
as well, so that you like made a winning now, that kind of
Yes,
thing.
Yeah.
And it's for the beauty of the game, for the beauty of sports, it's also good. You can even take your beef to younger sports as well and play against your team,
Exactly.
against your opponents.
Exactly.
That's
play
true.
them that
That's
they
true.
don't win.
Exactly.
Have you visited Younger Sports today? Have you gone on www.youngersports.com to see the weekend games all lined up for you with the fastest and biggest odds available? You don't want to miss these weekend games, do you? Which
And
you don't want to
international
miss.
breaks every
Ah, you
No,
don't want to
the
miss
Euros
it.
are
You
here.
don't want to
They-
miss it.
international break
Qualifiers are here,
coming,
you get.
Yeah.
That friendlies are here as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of odds packed up for people like Richie.
You're just gonna get more rich.
Richie's getting richer. All right, guys. So this is it. We talked about football rivalry. We talked about the importance, the need for it, the hazards that comes with it. You know, all the perks that comes with football rivalry. Is it good? Is it healthy? Is it needed? Is it important? Does it shape the players? Does it shape the club? Does it shape national teams? Does it shape even the fans? Do people how we think, perceive these things called rivalry? I mean, what exactly are we rivaling about? Is it good? Is it bad? I'll leave you all to decide, and please drop your comments in our comment section as we will be going through them and talking about them in our next episode. Thank you for staying tuned with us, and of course my guest Richie and my regular over there Joshtoosporty. What did you say?
I said C.
What is C?
What Ronaldo says.
Is it C?
Yes,
Is it
like
C or
yes,
Sue?
basically.
It's, we call it the way it's spelled.
I say Sue.
It's basically C because C is yes.
Okay.
Sue is just like
Yeah.
maybe people adding the U for.
Oh, really?
Sue. C. It's basically
It's
screaming.
you.
Yes.
It's you.
You
Check your
see,
Google.
see rivalry. See rivalry.
Oh, Richie, you didn't have to do that. All right, guys. Thank you all for staying tuned, and we'll see you all later. Bye.